Barbarians favor the strong embrace of nature, valuing keen instincts, primal physicality, and ferocious rage. Barbarians are uncomfortable when hedged in by walls and crowds. They thrive in the wild. Barbarians come alive in the chaos of combat. They can enter a berserk state when rage takes over, giving them superhuman strength and resilience. While we have an idea about what a barbarian is, since the term was used historically and derived from the ancient Greek word barbaros, and later adopted in Roman Latin with the word barbarus, to describe inferior and uncivilized people. And role-playing wise, you can certainly play it that way. But in D&D, there is a bit more to it, since barbarians can harness and unleash their rage in combat and are thus relatively rare. Barbarians' primary ability scores are Strength and Constitution. Since Strength helps the barbarian to hit things and hit things hard, and Constitution will add to the health pool, which helps to stay alive longer. As for proficiencies, light and medium armor, shield proficiency, simple and martial weapons proficiency. So you can basically use all the melee weapons, given the barbarian is a very melee-oriented class. Despite them being proficient at light and medium armor, it's perfectly valid to not wear anything as a barbarian, since they get Unarmored Defence, so their armor class increases by dexterity and constitution modifier combined. The barbarian's main action is rage, which they can use a couple of times per rest. You get more rage charges at level 3, 6 and 12. Rage makes you more stronger and robust. You gain resistance to bludgeoning, slashing and piercing damage, and you gain advantage on strength checks and saving throws. As for the damage bonus to your attacks while raging, +2 between levels 2 to 8 and +3 between level 9 and 12. The duration of rage is 10 turns. However, rage ends early if you don't attack an enemy or take damage each turn. Another drawback is that you can't cast or concentrate on spells while raging, and you can't rage while wearing heavy armor. At level 2, the barbarian gets Reckless Attack, which means that until your next turn, you have advantage on attack rolls, but enemies also have advantage against you. But given it's not always bad to get hit to maintain your rage, and being more resistant in this state, it's not such a bad thing. At level 5, the barbarian gets Fast Movement, which adds a movement speed increase by 1.5 meter or 5 feet, while not wearing heavy armor. Also at 5th level, they also get an extra attack like all the other martial classes. At level 7, you get Feral Instinct, which means the barbarian has honed its instinct to the utmost degree. You gain a +3 bonus to initiative and can't be surprised. Initiative determines the order of turns during combat, and having a higher initiative helps you taking your turn sooner. At level 9 you get more critical damage, and then at level 10 the barbarian gets Relentless Rage. Once per short rest, if you drop to 0 hit points while enraged, you regain 1 hit point instead of being downed. The barbarian can choose between 3 subclasses: Beserker, Wildheart and Wild Magic. Choosing the Beserker path at 3rd level will allow a barbarian to turn his rage into frenzy. During this period, you can make a single melee attack to perform as a bonus action on each of your turns because of Frenzied Strike. Using Frenzied Strike adds a stack of Frenzied Strain. The barbarian takes a -1 penalty on attack rolls for every stack. All stacks are removed when Frenzy ends. Even better yet, you get Enraged Throw, which allows you to pick up an item or creature and throw it at a target, dealing bludgeoning damage and knocking it prone. Your strength affects how much weight you can throw. Heavier items deal more damage. They also get Mindless Rage at level 6, which makes them resistant to Charm and Frighten. And at level 10 they get Intimidating Presence, so they can instill fear onto a target, which is not all that good, so a lot of Berserkers multi-class into other classes at this point. Then the Wildheart subclass. These barbarians are more in tune with their animalistic side. At level 3 they learn Speak with Animals, and they get to pick a bestial heart. Based on the choice you get different benefits. So the bear heart is a more tanky option. The eagle heart for more mobility, since dash becomes a bonus action and you can still do an action on top of that. And you get diving strike. Elk heart, you obtain more mobility with added movement speed, and you also get a charged ability with primal stampede. Tiger heart can make you jump further, and you can make enemies bleed with Tiger's Bloodlust. And the Wolf Heart is good for buffing your party with Inciting Howl. As an added bonus to the Wildheart Barbarian, you can choose between some cosmetic piercings. At level 6 you can choose an animal aspect. Depending on the animal you get different bonuses. The bear, the carrying capacity is doubled and advantaged on strength checks. The chimpanzee, resistance to falling damage. Crocodile, movement on water-based surfaces increased by 3 meters, and you gain advantage on slippery surfaces. Eagle, dark vision up to 12 meters and advantage on perception checks. The elk, movement speed increased by 1.5 meter for yourself and nearby allies, and so forth. At level 8 you learn Landstride difficult terrain, so difficult terrain no longer slows you down. And at level 10 you can choose another animal aspect like I just mentioned earlier in level 6. Then lastly, the Wild Magic Barbarian. They get from level 3 Rage Wild Magic. This releases all the magic rolling inside of you, causing a random magical effect. This can be unpredictable, however it causes no negative magic effects. For some examples of magic effects, Wild Magic Weapon Infusion. The magic infuses your weapon. Until the end of your rage it deals an additional 1d6 force damage. Wild Magic Protective Lights, protected by multicolored lights until the end of your rage. You and any allies within 10 feet of you have a +1 bonus to armor class. Wild Magic Teleport, until the end of your rage you can teleport each turn. As a bonus action you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. And lastly, Wild Magic Dark Tendrils. Shadowy tendrils lash around you, sucking the life from all nearby creatures and granting you 1d12 temporarily hit points. These are just a couple of magic effects I have encountered. There's several more, but I'll leave those to you guys to discover. At level 3, the Wild Magic Barbarian learns Magic Awareness, which grants anyone within range a proficiency bonus to saving throws against spells. At level 6, Wild Magic Barbarian learns 3 types of Bolstering Magic. The first one, Bolstering Magic Boon, can be used to increase attack rolls or ability checks by 1d4. Then also the ability to give a spell slot back to yourself or an ally, either level 1 or level 2 spell slots, with Bolstering Magic level 1 and level 2. At level 9, they learn Bolstering Magic level 3, which allows recovering a level 3 spell slot, which is of course very nice if you have a spellcaster in your party. At level 10, Wild Magic Barbarians learn Unstable Backlash. So when you take damage or fail a saving throw, you trigger another wild magic effect that replaces the current one. Now for some multi-classing ideas. The Barbarian Fighter for Action Surge, you get even more attacks this way. And the fighter also focuses on strength abilities, so there is a good synergy there. Just keep in mind that you can't rage while wearing heavy armor. Barbarian and Circle of the Moon Druids for rage while in animal form, especially bear and owlbear, makes you into a very tanky killing machine. Thief Rogue Barbarian for extra bonus action, and your sneak attack synergizes very nicely with reckless attack. There's many more multi-classing options of course. Feel free to share some in the comments below. So what is it like to play a Barbarian? What can I say? I love the Barbarian. Raging is really satisfying and almost cathartic. They make for great damage dealers and are amazing tanks. They have a ton of hit points. As a class, it's pretty straightforward.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
You must get into the thick of things to thrive. So your biggest worry as a Barbarian is to close the gap and get into melee. This is why they get generally some good abilities that increases their movement speed, or where they can't be hindered by difficult terrain if you are a wild magic barbarian, or depending on your animal aspect you choose as a wild shape druid. I preferred going with big two-handed weapons because it fits the class fantasy so well. I picked the Great Weapon Master feat. This can be sometimes tricky because you do end up missing a bit more often. I also really recommend bringing a wild magic barbarian with you if you have a lot of magic users in your party, to refill some of the magic slots, giving out some nice buffs and tank for them while you're at it. I think the barbarian has really grown on me over the course of my playthrough and might be in the running to become my favorite class. The jury is still out. Thank you for watching this video on the Barbarian, especially if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Like and subscribe for more to come. Bye.